왔어요. 로스앤젤레스. 나 엄마 아빠 한국 와서 나 왔어요. 그래서 나는 한국말 잘 못해요. 나 엄마 아빠 미국 왔을 때 한국 사람 많이 없었어요. 이거는 뭐 50년, 50 years ago. 그래서 나한테 미국말 못하고 나 엄마 아빠 나한테 너는 미국말 잘 배워야 돼. 우리 조금 더 저기. 그래서 나는 한국말 잘 못해요. 나 한국 사람 많이 있는데 지금 한국 사람 많이 있는데 옛날에 많이 없었어요. 그래서 한국 교회도 없고 그래서 나는 미국 교회 가고 한국 학교도 없어요. 그래서 나는 미국 학교 가고 한국말 하고 싶어도 한국 사람 없어요. 한국 학교에서 나는 게 없으세요. 그래서 조금 힘들었어요. It's a little difficult to learn Korean because there are no Korean people. I apologize. But I speak English very well.
한국말 잘하십니다.
예, 잘하시는 거예요.
그럼 발음 다르고 the words are a little bit simple. Okay. But I learned many things. And my father, he defines what I think Korean people are. He's very old. I am very old, and I'm still half of my father's age. I think that's very, very different. And when I'm young, I do not understand the Korean community because I do not have a Korean community. I think that is very important to understand, which is when you do not have a Korean community, then it is not fair to expect young people to understand Korean culture. But I'm older now, and when I got older, 나 아버지도 나이 많이 있어요. 그래서 한국 가고 싶었어요. 그래서 나는 조금 물어봤어요. 나는 한국 사람인데 한국에서 많이 살았어요. 그래서 왜 한국 가고 싶어요? 한국에 살았는데 아버지는 한국에 살았는데 설악산도 못 가고 제주도도 못 가고 많이 못 가봤어요. 그래서 나는 저렇겠구나. 그래서 나는 같이 아버지 엄마 같이 한국 갔어요. 그래서 가니까 한국 가족 많이 만났어요. 그래서 나는 이렇게 생각했어요. 나는 한국말 못하면 그럼 나는 한국 가족? I will not know them. 잘 안 지내요. 나 아버지는 없으면 그럼 나는 한국 가족 못 만나요. 난 모르면서 I do not know them. 한국말 잘 못하고 그래서 나는 이렇게 생각했어요. 나는 한국말 배워야 돼요. 나는 한국 culture 배워야 돼요. Not for my sake, but for my family's sake, and eventually for me. And that's when I married my wife. Right? She's from Korea, from Daegu, and she speaks Korean she speaks English better than I speak Korean. But I will challenge her on that. Yes. So I grew up in America, American schools. Again, I went to Catholic high school. I went to Baptist grammar schools, Catholic high schools. I went to Caltech as an aero-astro major, as an engineering and applied science. Then I went to Stanford. I came to Stanford for aerospace. At the time, 20 years ago, there was a lot of aerospace in this area. There was a lot of hardware, but that changed, and many of the hardware went away. So I switched to mechanical engineering, and I worked for big companies like Unisys and Brocade. And then I switched to software because even hardware went away. There is no hardware anymore. But my Korean culture did not change because even at these companies, big companies, there are very few Korean people. 한국말 하고 싶어도 한국 사람도 없어요. So I still do not learn Korean. And then when hardware goes away, I also switched to software. And in software, I worked for a lot of startup companies. I worked for big companies like Google. And then I learned a lot from Google. Then I leave Google because I realized I like smaller communities, right? And this is what I learned. I joined a Korean church. 지금 한국 교회 가요. But I know that the church communities are also very different. We have many different church communities. The one strength Korean people have is they are very independent and they are strong individuals. I know this, right? But where we can learn from other groups, from Chinese people and Vietnamese people and even the Americans, is that we are very strong individually. We are very independent individually. But we can be even stronger as a community. And that's what I want to build. I want to build a community. Because I know a lot of people complain that today's children, they don't know Korean culture and they don't speak Korean. But it is just like 50 years ago, where there is no Korean community. I have no Korean community. So if I want to learn Korean, I still have no one to go to. And today, it is 50 years later. We live in Silicon Valley. This is supposed to be Koreatown. And there is no large Korean community. And that's what I'd like to change. I would like to see, when we have Korean festivals, everyone knows about Chinese New Year. It's Korean New Year too, but everyone knows it as Chinese New Year. That is the power of community. That is the power of marketing, right? And everyone knows about Moon Festival, the On Moon Festival and mooncakes. But Chuseok is one of the most important holidays in the Korean culture, yet even in Koreatown, we do not have a Korean community Chuseok event. I think that that is something that I would like to change. We are not trying to make Korea the entire, we're not trying to make America into Korea, but we do need a Korean population and a Korean community so that people who know the culture can pass on the culture, and people who have family outside of Korea or even inside America who are Korean can come together and enjoy and share our culture with others. So I don't know how much time I have, but I have lived in Santa Clara for 20 years. For 20 years, I have lived in Santa Clara. I have not really thought about the Korean community because even though there are many Korean restaurants, I come from Los Angeles. There are always a lot of Korean restaurants. But in Los Angeles, we have shopping areas, we have community areas, we have events. And here, because I'm busy, I don't think about it. But when my wife comes to America, I realize, even though we have a lot of Korean places, we don't have a lot of Korean events. And we have a lot of Korean people, but we don't have a Korean community. You'll hear that word a lot, because that's what I want to foster. This idea of we are strong individually, but we can be stronger together. I also learned in the last election, I ran for city council 2 years ago, and I came very close to winning, but again, the opposition, they've been here for a long time. The people that are running for city council against me, they have communities here. They can go to their church communities, and they can go to their ethnic communities. There is the Portuguese SES hall. There is, there are lots of places that they can go to. We don't have that. We don't have that. And I want to raise the awareness because I realize Korean people don't even vote. Many people aren't even registered to vote. And I think voting is the first chance that you have to interact with the system. Imagine that you go to a meeting, but you don't say anything. You don't ask questions, you don't talk, you don't say anything. Then it is almost the same as if you did not go to that meeting, right? Do you understand that? If you don't say anything at the meeting, then it's the same as if you don't go to the meeting. And all of the decisions that will be made, the decisions will be made without any of your input. So if you want changes but you don't speak up, nobody will make those changes because nobody knows about them. And that's what it's like to not vote in the United States. Many people come to the United States for freedom, for expression, for opportunities. And I think the number one opportunity people have is to vote. Korea is also democratic, and there are many problems there as well. But in America, that is the number one freedom that we have, that everyone, I feel, should look into. Because it's how the people at the bottom affect the people at the middle levels and eventually at the top. So I am Kevin Park. I would like to bring our politics back from big money and from big groups back to the people, where we can focus on infrastructure, such as streets and roads. If you go to Santa Clara and you drive along El Camino, or you ride your bike along El Camino, you will see that the road is very bad. It is one of the worst roads in our area. And if you go to other cities, go to Sunnyvale and Mountain View, just keep driving along El Camino, you will see that the roads are very smooth again. People say these are county roads or these are state roads, but Santa Clara City is the lead agency for these improvements. And look at the other roads. Look at the parking lots inside the Korean supermarkets inside the Korean, the structures, the infrastructure, the water, the sewers, all of that is bad. We're bringing in a lot of housing, and we're supposed to get benefits from that housing, from the big development. But I don't see it, which is, if we see benefits, nobody should tell me I should be able to see it. And I would like to get the city away from stadium and just housing, and back on the people and infrastructure and water and sewer and something I call lifestyle, which is, we are not here to work. We are here to live, and work is something we do to support that. So again, my name is Kevin Park. I would like to have a chance to represent you and make changes for the people. Thank you.